For those of you at home that may not really understand that part of it, maybe one day we'll do another show on actually what that means and what that actually would allow for television stations to actually do in that concept. But, you know, once again, we're looking at a lot of different things here, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home and wherever that you are around the world. We want to thank you for watching our show today. As we do continue on our quest here for video games, for the technology to maybe to be explored and expounded upon a little bit, and maybe try to find out why that some of the games and some of the things that are out there are extremely violent when it comes to actually playing them and maybe having some sort of enjoyment out of them. Now we're near the Christmas season, Brandon. What would you say to parents about video games, specifically with their ratings when it comes to Christmas presents or birthday gifts or things of that nature?
I would tell any parent out there that has a child in their house that is, not in high school pretty much, to really look at the game that your child is interested in. If your child says he or he should want this particular game, get on the computer or whomever and talk to somebody. Find out. Go to the store, a game store, Walmart, places like that. Any retailers that sell games. Talk to them. Find out what the game is about, what's actually in the game, because I'm telling you right now, those ratings don't necessarily portray what you think it says on there.
Well, what I have a problem with myself, I'm not sure, Director, how much time that we have left for this show, but what my absolute concern is why that some video game technology and some kids, again, we're still talking about technology, but how that some children can say, Mommy and Daddy, I want XYZ game, and I want this console, or I want this PC to play it on. And a lot of times I find that parents don't even question their children as to what these are. They, by name, okay, no problem, but, I think that the parents need to be a little bit more involved with their children. They need to be a little bit more involved with what they're playing, what they're watching, and what they're doing. Brandon, I'm not going to say on the air how old you are, but back when I was a youngster, they used to have in Dallas at 10 o'clock. They would say, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? That was on television. They don't do that anymore. Parents anymore, it seems like they really and truly don't care where their kids are or what their kids are doing. How would you address that?
Me personally, addressing my child or addressing the problem as a whole?
The problem. I mean, it's becoming a calamity is what it is.
Well, addressing the problem as a whole, I definitely agree with, the news coming on and saying, it's such and such time. Do you know where your children are? Because it gives them a little, hey, where are my kids? What are they doing right now? And if they know and whatnot, that's great. But, for the rest, I would honestly have to say that it really starts with the parenting when the child is young. You don't, you don't put certain boundaries on your child at a younger age, and you're not going to be able to shelter a kid forever from every bad thing in the world. Obviously, every parent knows that. But there are some things that you can shelter them from. If Billy, next door has such and such bad movies and violent games and whatnot, and Billy's mommy and daddy don't care if Billy watches them, and your son or daughter is friends with Billy, well, then you need to contact Billy's mom and say, listen, I personally in my house do not allow these types of movies or games. So I would appreciate it if my son is over at your house, my son or daughter, if those types of media were not presented to my child. You've got to be a very responsible parent. I think that's where it really stems from.
Well, for about the next 3 minutes or so, I want us to dive into the fourth question. And of course, that's going to be next week's entire show right here on our forum as we continue our talk with Brandon from Buffalo about video game ratings. And so I will start this part of the conversation for about 3 minutes or so. Should they actually be changed from what they are now?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. There is a very small